talking to students who get a 5 during a radar block. We have already seen the characteristics of what it means to get a 5. Here you can take a look at the list again. What we're going to focus on in this topic is what to tell students at the end of the class. The first question is if we should actually talk to them. And yes, we need to do it because it is fair for them and it's also mandatory. This also gives us an opportunity to help the student at early stages before the 5 becomes something shocking and unexpected at the end of the level. What should be the approach when talking to them at the end of the class? It is quite similar to the oral grade talk actually. We should focus on goals, give specific examples, give relevant recommendations, and invite for feedback. To have the student focus on goals, we can refer them to the board where they can see the information. In order to give them specific examples, we take advantage of the notes that we took during their performance in DT2s and DT3s. The relevant recommendations will vary based on the student. Some of them might be doing homework practices, going over the CNS again, arriving on time so they don't miss the first part of the class, and so on. And in the end, waiting for feedback. This is to make sure that students are really getting the message that they should do something to improve. As usual, the challenge will not be what we say, but how we say it. So choosing the right words will make a difference. On this list, you can see some characteristics that our words should have for them to be effective when talking to students about a failing grade. First of all, they should be professional and straightforward. This also refers to our attitude. Do not deliver the news as if it were like the worst thing on earth. The words shouldn't sound like an attack, but rather an attempt to help the student. We should portray that we are personalizing attention and that we care for them, and that's why we are doing something extra after the class has finished to help them. The last thing is that the 5 should not be the opening or closing of your talk. If the first thing we tell the student when doing the talk is, "You got a 5 today," that is very likely to close the communication. Also, if we close the talk by saying, "You got a 5," that's all the student will take away with him or her. By taking these recommendations into account, mentioning the 5 may become just a small part of the conversation rather than the focus of it. Please continue with the next part of the topic.